From crushing wrestlers in the ring to crushing box office records, Dwayne Johnson has spent the last 20 years becoming a blockbuster behemoth. He now stars alongside Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot in Red Notice on Netflix.
This is my best friend.
We're not friends.
We're best friends.
But how did he get here? Strap in, put the pedal to the metal, and prepare to speed down his road to Netflix. Dwayne Johnson's career kicked off in 1996 under a less familiar name. He stepped into the WWF wrestling ring as Rocky Maivia. He was sweet and earnest, but it was his reinvention as wrestling heel The Rock that would see him become the face of late 90s wrestling and the master of the catchphrase.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Skip to 2019 and he'd play himself in Fighting With My Family, where he meets Florence Pugh's wannabe brawler, Paige, and explains the secret to his in-ring persona.
The Rock is me, Dwayne Johnson, just with the volume turned way up, the treble adjusted, the bass, same guy.
Wrestling popularity led to his first acting work in 1999, where he appeared in That 70s Show playing his own father, another famed wrestler, Rocky Johnson.
You know, I got a son, and one day he's gonna become the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
And in 2000, his wrestling career went intergalactic when he starred in an episode of Star Trek Voyager.
Resistance is futile.
So is all your talk.
Dwayne's film career kicked off in 2001, where he sold his soul for eternal life as the Scorpion King in The Mummy Returns. You can put his head on a CG scorpion's body, but there's no mistaking that attitude. He impressed producers so much that an entire prequel was built for the character, giving Dwayne his first leading role in 2002's The Scorpion King. A great showcase for his physical abilities and that world-famous eyebrow.
And it gets so lonely.
In 2003, he headed to the jungle as bounty hunter Beck in The Rundown. Cementing him as the action star of the moment, he even got an in-film endorsement from another action film legend.
Have fun.
Based on 2004's Walking Tall, Arnie passed the torch to the right guy, as Dwayne took down a crooked casino, armed only with a big stick. Then he was off to Mars as Sarge in 2005's Doom, an adaptation of the popular video game and a rare villainous role for our star. Good luck with that, Karl Urban. 2005 also let Dwayne flex his dramatic muscles in Be Cool. He also got to show off some very groovy trousers.
Scorching!
And 2006 saw him stepping into the dystopian world of Southland Tales as amnesiac action star Boxer Santoros. In the late 2000s, we saw more of Dwayne's funny side, from putting himself in the hands of Hannah Montana to squaring off against funny man Steve Carell in Get Smart. His role as Agent 23 in the 2008 comedy was the first time he was credited as Dwayne Johnson instead of The Rock, though he still had that classic rock style.
Thank you.
The laughs kept on coming when, in 2009, he hosted Saturday Night Live for the third time. And later that year, he turned up in Family Guy as himself to help censor a raunchy love scene.
Wow.
Oh, and he played the Tooth Fairy in 2010's Tooth Fairy. If this guy turned up in your room at night, you'd hand him your entire gob, no questions asked. And who could forget his turn alongside Samuel L. Jackson in 2010's The Other Guys as the cocky and very short-lived detective Christopher Danson. Luckily, Dwayne's next character lasted a bit longer. DSS agent and bounty hunter extraordinaire Lucas Hobbs.
Above all else, we don't ever let them get in the cars.
Chasing down the wrongfully accused Dominic Toretto in 2011's Fast 5 was Johnson's ticket to the blockbuster big leagues. The film took over $600 million at the box office and established Hobbs as a vital piece of the Fast and Furious universe. Hobbs would return 4 more times. In Fast and Furious 6, he worked alongside his one-time nemesis Dom to bring down Luke Evans' dastardly Owen Shaw. In turn earning him the wrath of Jason Statham's Deckard Shaw in Furious 7. By the time he reached the Fate of the Furious in 2017, Hobbs was steering missiles by hand. Is there anything this guy can't do? Well, apart from get on with Jason Statham, as proved by their hilarious team-up in 2019's Hobbs and Shaw. Expect more banter from these two as a sequel is in the works. While Dwayne spent the last decade destroying an entire car festival's worth of motors, he built himself into the ultimate leading man. In 2013, he went from Fast and Furious to be Vast and Furious when he played a bodybuilder turned kidnapper in Pain and Gain. Then in 2014, he played the man, the myth, the legend, Hercules. Before returning to modern day in 2015 in San Andreas, where he battled the largest earthquake in history as helicopter rescue pilot Ray Gaines. Dwayne and San Andreas director Brad Peyton had so much fun wrecking his city, they teamed up to destroy another one in 2018's Rampage. In 2015, Dwayne took on the biggest TV role of his career as Spencer Strassmore, a retired NFL player turned player manager in Ballers. Think of it as an NFL version of Entourage, with Johnson on highly charismatic form over its 5 seasons. We got to hear Dwayne's more tuneful side in 2016's Moana, where he guided the film's heroine as shape-shifting demigod Maui. Sticking with the beach, but less family-friendly, is 2017's Baywatch, a raunchy take on the 90s TV classic where Dwayne played head lifeguard Mitch Buchanan. In 2017's Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, Dwayne continued to stretch his comedy muscles and his actual muscles as the smouldering Dr. Xander Bravestone, a video game action hero possessed by the soul of a neurotic high school student.
Do you have control of that, or does that just happen naturally?
It just happens naturally.
A role so good he repeated the trick 2 years later in Jumanji The Next Level, where this time he channeled the spirit of Danny DeVito. Those are words I never expected to say.
Oh, my joints feel like butter.
Cementing his action hero credentials, Dwayne gave us his own version of Die Hard in 2018's Skyscraper, where he played a one-legged veteran saving his family from the world's tallest building. Don't eat your dinner during the jumping scene. If watching Dwayne Johnson's road to Netflix has left you wanting more of his life story, you could check out 2021's Young Rock, a sitcom based on his teenage years that jumps between his school days and early football career, and his life living amongst wrestling legends. Which brings us all the way to 2021 and Dwayne's first Netflix original movie, Red Notice. If our trip through his career has taught us anything, it's that he's just as comfortable wisecracking as cracking skulls, and here he gets to do both as FBI agent John Hartley. Tasked with bringing in jewel thief Ryan Reynolds, he soon finds himself working with his former nemesis to bring down an even bigger thief played by Gal Gadot.
Arrest me.
Make sure you don't miss Red Notice, now streaming on Netflix, and to hear how more of your favourite stars took their road to Netflix, make sure you subscribe to the channel.